Followed that up with Kate Shortland's film, which is Law. So this was a German language film shot in Germany, and if you haven't seen it, it's about a 15-year-old daughter of a high-ranking Nazi commander, and it starts when the war has just finished and her parents have been arrested, and she and her siblings are trying to get across Germany to their grandparents' house. It's an amazing story, and it was based on a short story by a British writer. So this was our first kind of big co-production, which we did with Germany, and co-productions can be really hard, especially with a foreign language. You know, just the language barrier is really tricky. If you think that contracts in English are bad, you should try doing them in English and German. It's really something else. Adam Arkpour shot this one for us as well. I mean, I think the good thing about this was it really showed us that we could do these kind of co-productions, and there's a little bit less risk when you're doing a co-production. You can access Australian funds, you can access German funds, you can shoot in a whole lot of different places in Germany and access all these tiny little funds. So it was very complex funding, but it all came together in the end. And look, this film did over $1 million in box office in the US, which was a fantastic result for a foreign language film. It was the German entrant into the foreign language Oscars that year, although it didn't get nominated, but it was certainly the film selected by the German selectors. And it won the best film at the Locarno Film Festival. So it did very well for us and for Kate, because she really is an amazing director, and we've got another film with her at the moment, but yeah, she's someone that we really wanted to back. We followed that up with Dead Europe, which is another Tony Krawietz film based on Christoph Scholkes' novel, and Louise Fox writing the screenplay. This was, Seesaw had developed this film, and we sort of came on at the end to produce it with them, but with the talent of Louise writing the screenplay and Tony as the director. It was just a really attractive film for us, so we came on board with that. And also it's just cemented a bit of a relationship with Seesaw Films that continues. We're not in bed with each other in any kind of financial way, but when we find a way to work together as two separate companies, then that is a great way to get these films made, really. So the thing is, with these last three films, they were all based on pre-branded material. They were all adaptations on novels, and they had a built-in audience. And that's become sort of, there's our novels. That's become a bit of a feature of our slate now. We do have a mix of original material and material that's come from adaptation. And then we made The Rover, which was David's second film. And we had Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson as the leads. That was very interesting. And with those leads, we had access to this kind of American machine of pre-sales and financing, because we had a US partner in David Lindy. But the focus of making the film, and we had a lot of freedom in making it, was really about backing David's vision and making the film that he wanted to make. And it was selected for Cannes in 2014. So that was just, it was out of competition, but it screened at Cannes in the festival. And that, again, I can't stress enough how important the festival coverage is for films, the kind of films that we make. So they're really a launching pad for the films internationally. And I think very early on, we really, when we're starting our films, we're really thinking about international sales. We're thinking about what of the A-list festivals we want to try to aim this for. So Cannes, Venice, Toronto, Berlin, Sundance, they're all can really make a big difference to your sales. And they all have a particular flavour. Not every film is a Sundance film. Not every film is a Cannes film. So, you know, you really have to work very closely with the sales agent, and they're really onto this. But they are important for creating buzz. Apart from all of that, Cannes is just like the most amazing experience. This was the Rover team on the red carpet. The red carpet at Cannes is something else, really. And it's all about applauding the filmmaker and the director. They're not interested in, it's just all hail the director. And it's quite incredible. And so it's both amazing and surreal. This is there's Paris Hilton, who came to the Rover premiere and walked up the red carpet. I don't know if she actually stayed for the film, but she was certainly there on the red carpet, and then splashed across the all the magazines the next day with the caption, you know, Paris Hilton at the premiere of the Robert Pattinson film, The Rover. So I guess all of that can be just a good thing for your film, as weird as it is. So that's 20 years worth. We're now in 2016, and I'm not sure how I'm going for time. I'm all right? Okay. So just to tell you a bit about what we're doing at the moment, we optioned Jasper Jones, which many of you may know is a very popular book in Australia by Craig Silvey. So we shot that in WA just this year, and it's all completed now. Again, this was a film that we just, I mean, there were a few things about this book. It had such a huge audience. There was a lot of buzz about the book, and it also had a really strong narrative, something important to say, unique time and place. And we had Rachel Perkins attached as a director, who's another person that we had long wanted to work with. I can show you a few little stills. There's Aaron McGrath, who's playing Jasper. But we were also able to cast up the adult roles with Tony Collette and Hugo Weaving. That's a little bit of the place we were shooting. There's Hugo as Mad Jack. But really, the film actually belongs to our young cast, which was Aaron McGrath, Levi Miller, and Gowrie Rice. And we know we're on the right track with our cast because Hollywood is just beating down the door for certainly Levi and Gowrie, and I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron is getting up there as well, because they're just really amazing in this film. The other thing we've been doing is trying to take our brand into television. So the Kettering incident is screening on Foxtel at the moment, and it really started as just a bold idea that has gone on to work really well. So Vincent, when he was making The Hunter, really wanted to go back to Tasmania and find a way to tell stories in that world, in that environment. But I think he knew if he wanted to do that, he was going to have to find some local talent to work with. Vicky Madden had just returned after many years as a TV writer in the UK, and together they cooked up this idea and took it to Screen Tas, who gave them some seed funding. The ambition was always to make something very original, really bold and culturally specific, something very Tasmanian, but would still work internationally in the way that The Killing did for Denmark, Broadchurch for the UK, or even Breaking Bad. It was always very ambitious, but it was only going to work if we didn't flinch from the original vision. So Vincent shopped the project here in Australia and in the UK, and Foxtel came on board, and also Channel 4 in the UK, and they funded the development. And then Foxtel decided to make it, which was fantastic. And we also had support from, well, really good support from Screen Tas, Screen New South Wales and Screen Australia. If you haven't seen it, you can sign up to Foxtel, and you can get to watch it there. And I guess the real thing about this show for us is it's all about the talent. The writing team, apart from Vicky Madden, included Kate Shortland, Andrew Knight and Louise Fox, and the directors Rowan Woods and Tony Crowitz, again, people that we've worked with a lot. And the cast, Elizabeth Debicki and Matt Lenaves, and a really fantastic cast of Australian actors.